to our Shamanic journey number 47. Thank you for joining me, and if you're not able to join me, at least thank you for watching the recap, the recording of our journeys. Week has been energetically a little bit strong, if many of you feel that, and hopefully you're finding a way of relieving some of the stresses by opening up yourselves to the consciousness of the universe, going a little deeper within ourselves and finding our path. It's an interesting journey that we're on, an interesting journey that we've been given the opportunity to undertake on this earth. And if we look at school as the planet of learning and graduating and being faced with different lessons in order for us to find our ability to pass the lessons, then we evolve and shift and change and rise ourselves to a higher level of a frequency where we not only resonate at a higher frequency for better health, for better physical health, emotional health, but we also draw in people into our lives that resonate on the same frequency, which gives us a greater chance of evolving and feeling at peace with one's own soul. Okay, today as we journey, we're going to look at the subject of synchronicities. And if we look at the subject of synchronicities, you think about your life where things have happened that weren't a coincidence, right? Things that happened that just started to evolve. It's as if something in the cosmos is interested in our well-being and trying to help us understand what's lacking in our consciousness or our view of ourselves or our life around us. And so it's really reminding us of our wholeness. And we see certain things in our lives, as Carl Jung called the synchronicities. They were evidence of unifying consciousness at play in the universe, which was like creating a physical manifestations outside of ourselves for things that were going on internally. So it was almost as if we tuned into a certain channel in our mind and we saw it in front of us in the external world. So it's important for us to kind of like recognize and acknowledge the synchronistic events that take place. You know, if we become more aware of them, there's an interconnectedness of all things, all right, and our place in the universe. So, like for example, when we run into certain people, or certain things happen, sometimes people may scoff it off as an accident, but it could be also a synchronization. It's not just a coincidence that certain things take place. If you look at all the people on the earth and everybody that exists, and that everybody is being guided in some way as these small little objects if you stand above them, just like ants, having spirit guides, having ancestors that are guiding us and that we can communicate with spirit. And then that we see these synchronicities that go on in certain events, such as spirit sending us messages. I'm sure if you're on this path, you've noticed certain numbers in your life. You know, when a person starts ascending, so to speak, in terms of evolving in their frequency, we're led to numbers. Then people start sharing, oh, you know what, I saw this number 1111. I saw the number 555. I saw the numbers 222. I saw the numbers 777. Or whatever the numbers, 444, that synchronize with telling you that you're on the right path. You know, sometimes as humans, we look for other people to praise us, to give us acknowledgement that we're doing the right thing. And when we seek that acknowledgement outside of ourselves, what happens is we lose our navigation within ourselves. And when we look for the synchronicities that, as Carl Jung said, start off internally and then we are mirrored externally, then we have the ability to create or manifest our lives the way we want them to. So in other words, we can see outside of ourselves what's taking place through our own internal actions. And then we get validated when we see these certain numbers, such as 1111, again, 222, and all the other numbers. And then certain people start, coming across feathers. Feathers are on their path. I know for myself, for example, when I got onto the shamanic path, feathers were everywhere. And different animals' feathers in terms of what they signified or what their message was for me. Sometimes people hear or see animals like what we're doing here. We see spirit animals. There are animals that cross our path in parks, in the sky. If we're too busy in our phone, we never have the opportunity to look up into the sky to see what's around us. But if you go to a park, see what draws to you, see what synchronizations take place. Then also people hear certain voices or certain things called out to them, biblical psalms or voices from ancestors. So the process of opening ourselves up creates a synchronization that's very good for us. And one of the things that we can do basically is using our intuition That's the synchronization guide point, right? So in other words, if we open our heart, we're aligned to the highest good for ourselves. And by following our heart, right, we essentially invite life sequences, right, or the meaningful occurrences to actually unfold, to take place. But it starts with us. And so, again, in my opinion, there are no coincidences. Maybe you can share in the comments below and tell me some of your experiences, what you've gone through. And just to keep in mind that the universe works in design in a rhythmic pattern, in waves and in energy and connection. And so as we go on this journey today, let's see what the universe reminds us to open ourselves to, opens our heart to synchronize with. All right? So keep in mind, we'll journey on a path, as we've been doing, to a spirit animal and see what information unfolds and reminds us of what we need to be synchronized with. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is make sure you're not operating any heavy machinery or driving a car. Just take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Have your eyes closed. If you can lie down and cover your eyes, that works best. This way you can concentrate. Take one more deep breath in and exhale. And here we go. We're walking on a beautiful path. And all the leaves on the trees are in bloom. The greenery is all around us. The path is clear, and the smell of the forest is strong. And as we walk on this path, we think of the synchronicities that have existed in our lives. The phone calls we receive from people that we were thinking about. The people we meet years later that we once knew. The numbers that synchronize, that we see on our cell phone. In certain number patterns. And as we walk on this path, we come to a little stream. And barefoot, we walk through the stream, which is up to our knees. We stop for a minute and feel the coolness of the water. Path is a straight, long path, surrounded left and right by beautiful pine trees. And we can inhale the smell of the pine. And as we walk this path, slants on an upward, and you walk up the hill. And as you continue on the path, up ahead to the left is an opening in the bottom of a rock mountain. And as you get to the entrance, decide to walk in. At the beginning it's dark, but as you continue to walk, you see light shining from the other side. And you follow that path. walking, you come out to a new environment than you were just walking in. Look around and see where you are. You continue walking on this new path. And as you look right, you see a spirit animal. What animal do you see? You ask the animal, what synchronizations have I missed in my life that are reminding me of my interconnectedness to the universe? And you listen for the answers. turn to the animal and we thank it for the information that it's passed on. And we turn around, take a deep breath in, and head back. We find the cave, and we walk through it, retracing the steps back, looking for the light that leads to the entrance that we originally took. And as we walk out the tunnel of the cave, we find our way back on the path. The straight path we took that now leads downwards. To the left and right of us are pine trees. Walking on our path takes us back to the stream. And we stop at the beginning of the stream and put our hands in the water. And we wash our face. Then we walk through the stream, back to the other side. And as we walk on this path, to the right, we come to an oak tree. An old, wide oak tree. And we put our arms around it. We exchange energy with the tree, removing our positive ions from our body as the tree digests those energies. And you thank the tree as you release your hands. And you walk out of the forest. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take one more deep breath in and exhale. Move your fingers, move your toes, and when you're ready, come back into the room. So, as we journey to synchronicities, many people in life, as I mentioned earlier, come across different synchronicities such as numbers, feathers, spirit animals, certain voices they hear, certain people that come into our lives. But if we look at these synchronicities, right, as interconnectedness of all the things that are in place in the universe in our own path, in other words, what we manifest internally then eventually meets us external to ourselves. And so when we have synchronicities, there aren't coincidences and they aren't things that just happen accidentally. They are a manifestation of the inner workings of our creations that show themselves out in the external world. And, you know, Jung considered this to be, he termed the phrase synchronicities in psychology, right, as physical manifestations of what's happening in our psyche. So a good idea for us in order to create synchronicities that take place in life is, first of all, to have a positive mindset, and then for us to be aware of the things that exist with outside of ourselves. we have our cell phones in front of us, we have our head down many times, but if we pay attention to the messages that come through with different types of synchronicities or things that are in line with what we're thinking about or who we are, then they can send a message that can tell us that we're on the right path. Instead of getting, as I mentioned earlier, recognition and approval or appraisal from people outside of ourselves who may not have our best interests, it's sometimes wise for us to use our own navigation system and then use the external world as a guidance, a navigation for if we're on the right path or not. And the universe will respond. It'll respond by showing you synchronicities in your life, right? And sometimes in life, as I've interviewed people talk about getting hit with the brick or getting hit with the feather. It's a matter of paying attention. So if we pay attention to the synchronicities in our life, they can help and assist us on our path. Okay, I hope you have a great week. I want to thank you for joining me. And if you weren't able to make it today, I hope you're able to watch it as a replay. If you could please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Love to see you here next Tuesday. And keep an eye on my interviews coming up, which I had one today, and I'll be posting that. And I'll have one at the end of the week. Okay, have a great day and enjoy.